For Javonte Williams on if he'll run with violent intentions when he's on the field, he said, that's the plan. And for Deuce Vaughn, and this is a lengthy one here, this is from Schottenheimer, the OC for Dallas. He's truly hard for the defense to see when he's back there, when he's back there behind the offensive line. You see the defensive lineman there engaged like, I can't see him. Where did he go? And then when you get him out in space, he's a matchup problem. Yep. So what are your thoughts on these two arguably very different backs?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And one thing I wanted to mention about Brock Purdy going back to is that the fact that he's been given a clean bill of health on July 30th, 31st, that's pretty impressive from where we were, call it 6 months ago. So I think it's pretty cool to see all systems go. And I mean, it sounds like, we don't have to worry about the Sam Darnold show or the Trey Lance show. It sounds like it's going to be the Brock Purdy show, and I'm excited to see it. So back to Javonte and Deuce. So it's really hard not to get on the Deuces on the loose train, right?
Yep.
And Kansas State just has players you can root for. Darren Sproles, obviously,
yep.
Who Deuce is compared to. Somebody like Tyler Lockett also comes to mind. Terrence Newman, though he was a Cowboy for a long time, great person, great player. I have to go with Javonte Williams. I think with Deuce just gives me Jarrett Patterson vibes. From Buffalo, and that scares me just a little bit. And Deuce obviously is not going to have the ability to play special teams given his size. I know he's not. You can't see him behind the offensive line, and maybe there is room for him. But what's going to happen when he gets hit by a 240-pound linebacker that's 6'3"? I think that things could change, and maybe that. Deuce is a hoss, and he was awesome to watch in college. I just have reservations about what his size can bring to the NFL, which is obviously that's not rocket science. That's why he was picked in the 5th or 6th round. In terms of Javonte, all reports seem very strong in terms of his ability for week 1. And, until I hear something to the contrary, I'm going to continue to believe that he's ready, willing, and available. And the ACL plus, the rest of the tendons are going to be in playing shape. I think, we have reservations because of players like J.K. Dobbins that showed so much promise and then tears an ACL, and the following year is up and down and on the injured list, and then comes back, plays really well, but then needs to sit out a couple of games because he's still not 100%. That scares the daylights out of fantasy managers, and especially with somebody like Javonte Williams, who has a lot of talent and who was a valedictorian, by the way, out of high school. It's hard not to root for him in his talent and his ability, especially when you don't have an oaf like Melvin Gordon standing in your way, who's just literally fumbling and bumbling around the offensive line, and he's not really gaining any momentum. So I think I would pick Javonte, and I'm really rooting for and hoping for a clean bill of health. And until I hear otherwise, I'm full steam ahead on him in upcoming redraft leagues.
Yeah, Javonte, I guess much like we were talking about Brock Purdy and the thought of Javonte Williams, I think it was maybe more expected initially that he would be back for the beginning of the season, but the assumption is he'd be kind of ramping up and not, full steam for a couple of weeks there. And, seemingly thus far, he's good to go. Apparently the knee's okay. I still assume there could be a bit of rust to shake off through week 1 and week 2, week 3, but I think it's his backfield, and I think when they brought in Samaje Perine, I think that was a tremendous addition. 1, it was not tremendously expensive, but 2, it's Samaje Perine to do it all back, a veteran guy, but someone who I don't think was brought in to overshadow Javonte Williams and was more so just to supplement the backfield that what at the time was a bit uncertain, considering they maybe didn't know what Javonte was going to be week 1. And admittedly, I'm still hoping to see, I want a full season of Javonte. I did have him over Travis Etienne in their rookie seasons or coming out as rookies. I know Travis Etienne got his first season wiped away and Javonte's out now. So I would love to see both of those guys in a full season, just see how that matches up. And Deuce Vaughn, with the news today of Ronald Jones having that 2-game suspension. It's only 2 games, so he'll be back. But that does leave room for Deuce to slide one up in the depth chart. I think he'd be RB3 with what the depth chart says now. I don't know if he's going to pass Malik Davis or not. But, Vaughn provides a different skill set than what Malik Davis does. So I think it's just, apples and oranges there. But Deuce Vaughn, when I was thinking of shorter running backs, and I was thinking of, say, like a Jaquiz Rogers, who
Yeah.
is tremendously. I didn't realize how much. I knew he was stout, but I didn't realize how
Yep.
much bigger and heavier Jaquiz Rogers was, despite I think comparable heights. But then Darren Sproles, who I also didn't realize, Darren Sproles is apparently 15 pounds heavier than this guy, which blows my mind. So Deuce Vaughn's more of a Trindon Holiday, who
Okay.
tremendous special teamer, but size wise,
Great track athlete.
yeah, very much so.